Okay, here's a quick tutorial for how to proctor and print out tickets and troubleshoot while the kids are testing online. Please verify your username and password according to the email that I am about to send out to you guys. Please also notice that the URL is different than it was for registration. So I'm going to hit log in, and I created a dummy user that is a proctor so that it isn't an administrative look. You can actually see what I'm doing as a teacher would. So I'm associated with Westford Academy, so if I wanted to search for a specific student, I can do that. Why would you want to do that? If a certain kid timed out, or a plug got kicked out, or there's some kind of issue with that one student, or they were supposed to test on Monday, but they're not testing until Thursday, it just gives you that opportunity. You can click search and take a look at all of your students based on whatever test that you put in there. Okay, and what it will do based on the parameters that you set up will give you all of those kids in here and a status of what the test is right now, which is not started for all of them. There's also a password link here. This is only designed to click on when you need to figure out what their password is, okay, or if you need to reset it. Okay, so I'm not going to click it right now because I don't want to screw that up, because we've already printed these tickets for our kids and I don't want to mess it up. So as you scroll down, based on whatever you put in there, it's going to give you those options. Now in this area, you can create student test tickets for either all of them or ones that haven't started yet. So as the week progresses, if you want to simplify the list, you would use this option. And you can do multiple different categories. I don't know how you guys have this set up, if you put all of the individuals in one room and all of the teams in another room, so it gives you some flexibility on there. But please notice, one is to print all of them and one is to print only the ones that haven't started yet. So if I come on in and I click either of these, I haven't had any test print yet, so it's going to give me both options. It's going to update this PDF right here and send me into this form. It'll tell me the student's name. It'll also tell me their participant ID, which is their username, as well as their password. Now, a couple of things that were an issue last year that I want to just call to your attention. O's versus zeros. The zeros almost appear to be uppercase. If you take a look at this example right here, it's a taller character than the little D next to it, and it matches exactly the way that the zeros are in the participant ID. If the student tries to log in with the wrong credentials, whether they screw up the username or the password, I believe it gives them 3 strikes and then they're out. And at that point, it will not let them back into the test until you, as the proctor, reset their password. If you run into that issue, I can help you with it. But if you're just really clear with the kids that they need to pay attention to that, it should help you. Okay, the URL the student uses is here. And that's included on the email that I just sent to you guys as well, but they don't log in as a proctor, only you do. They have a different URL set up for testing. The login credentials for all of your students are based on what they registered for. So if they're taking a hospitality exam, it'll automatically start a hospitality exam and so forth, okay? So that's that in a nutshell. This little signature line is just part of the report. I don't know if you would ever even use that, but it's there for you if you want to use it. Okay, so I want to assimilate what's going to happen if there's an issue with a password or you need to check the status of one of your students. So I have Mary that I'm going to search for. And down on the bottom, it will give me all of the people associated with Mary. I have one Mary who finished the exam. You can see that it's green. And when I click on password, it'll tell me what her password used to be, okay? And I also have a Mary that, let me go back, that hasn't started yet. Please notice in here as well, it's going to give you the time that they logged in, as well as the status underneath the test area. So if there is a situation where they feel like they got kicked out, they hit the X out of the software, whatever the case may be, it'll tell you straight out in here what their status is according to the online software. At that point in time, you could click the PW here and tell them what their password is, or you could reset it using this PW password doodad as well. Okay. So that's pretty much how the proctoring side works out. I'm going to go ahead and pretend that I'm a student right now and log in so that you can kind of see what they end up seeing and help troubleshoot when there are issues at your school. So I've used the URL that I also provided in the email for the students to go ahead and take the test. I'm going to go ahead and log in as my student Mary that I just showed you guys. So now this is what it will look like when she logs into the test. It tells her member ID, which is a fake one, the school, the state, and the region or district is number 5. So the red note says to verify that it's correct. At this point, if the student notices that the wrong test or the wrong event is present, we need to know as soon as possible so that we can fix that. Otherwise, they're going to take the wrong test and it causes way too much chaos. So please make sure that you pay attention to that and have the kids stop before they start the test if we need to make that change. You can go ahead and refresh the list. The reason for this one is if there was a Wi-Fi issue or a disconnect or a potential issue, or the student had to have his password restarted, then it will go ahead and refresh the connection so that the new password credentials will actually work. At this stage of the game, they're going to click select and it'll say you have 90 minutes. Once you click start the test, the timer will be started. And again, it's just like anything. As long as they read and follow directions, it will be a non-issue. I'm going to click start the test. And it's set up with the Wi-Fi signal here, the amount of time that's available, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes, 90 minutes total. They also have access to a calculator if they need it. They can turn that off and on at any point in time. And it is a 1 question at a time thing. Some of the kids hate this, but that's the way that we set it up, so they're going to have to just deal. So if I come in and I answer the first question, I'm not even going to read, I'm just going to be quick, and click next, it'll go to the next question. Now I'm going to skip over a bunch of questions. There are 100 questions on the test. I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Hang on. So once they get to question 100, it will tell you have unanswered questions on your test. And in red, it will show them the questions that they haven't answered. So it's up to them to actually read and follow the directions. Once they're done and they have looked through all of them and they're ready to submit, they can click submit test. Please tell them to only click it 1 time, and then it will create the score for them and put it into the system and send it through the software automatically. Okay, if they don't click submit test though, it's going to show up as a test in progress, and it will screw us up on the other end. So they need to make sure that they click submit test at that stage and finish it all. If they just hit X, it's not going to submit it. It has to go through clicking this. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I also included my cell phone on there so you can send me a quick text if you're in a pickle. Good luck with your testing. Thank you so much.